That's pretty
Bunders,
neat.
Rusty and I need to talk about that. I mentioned it this morning, but Bob's video, if you haven't seen it, is very compelling of an argument on Batista. So we'll figure it out. We'll talk about that. But
Let's talk about what happened. We don't have to talk what did happen, right? Is for those who might be listening or might have already watched Two Bob's video. Some are asking for a response from us. Do we have
yeah,
a response, or can we let people know what even what the situation is from our perspective?
sure. Well, I mean, I think that we probably did get it a little wrong when he was out. Now, some of the things that Two Bob points out in his video, which is phenomenal, be sure to watch it. In terms of like, look at this. Some of the use cases that he presented, like especially for the trainer ability and some of those things, were people that are out now but weren't when Batista was there. I mean, obviously the writing was starting to be on the wall that pyro gyms were going to come back into a much more prominent state, but they weren't just yet. Like the characters that came out that month were important for pyro gyms, but we didn't yet have, he mentioned Solo Sokoa, the showboat. We didn't have Solo Sokoa showboat when he came out, etc. Now,
Right.
the fact that, yes, Batista with quite a number of tricks, but still, he accounts for that in his video, hit 60 million pretty handily. And we had him as a 3 on power, which means that the top end that we got to was maybe 20 or 30 million in damage. And also, to be fair, with our video, the triple black setup was figured out after we actually power rated him. So some characters, like for example, this weekend we'll power rate a couple characters that are probably previous characters. I've got a couple thoughts, but I want to talk to Rusty before I just say, hey, we're doing this, whatever. Um, but
Did he
but
use Raphael on Batista?
he didn't run the triple black. Actually, he actually ran
Oh,
the
okay.
pyro gym build. So
All right. I
very
just checked.
fair, very fair.
Right.
Because I would have docked a lot more heavily the triple black build because you need either Goldberg or Seth. Goldberg is
Yeah.
becoming much more available. Seth is still super rare, but both of them are still really rare trainer coaches. But no, he
Hmm.
used the red and green combination that you have the combo move that does the or the pyro gems on the bottom, and it creates some red, so it loads the other moves. Put out multi gems, and then go from there. Now he does use Leonardo at one point, but then he even takes Leonardo off and mentions once
Right.
Chelsea Green is at 6-star gold, he won't even need Leonardo because he'll use Chelsea Green, which very
Very cool.
relevant, very
Very
poignant.
cool.
So yeah,
So here's my thought about the two Bob content and the refutation of our content. I'm so glad it happened. I'm so glad for new and better and
yeah,
more current information to
yeah,
surface than what we had at the time of our recording.
right.
Also, I am so thankful that power ratings have become so baked into how we evaluate a superstar that
Yeah,
it's still the matrix by which we are evaluating.
yep.
I would take a two Bob video saying, hey, you got this power rating wrong any day over a video saying power ratings are stupid, they don't work, they're just tier list, da 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 da. Right?
Right,
That's the argument that will lose my interest immediately. Someone who's just pooping on what we are doing.
right.
Bob, I thought, gave a thoughtful response.
Yeah,
And that's again the reason we love wrestling is because we can disagree and because the conversation is fun to have.
yeah,
So what Bob did was further the conversation, right? And make it fun to have, especially for the free to play community who is gifted this Batista, right?
right.
You get this Batista and you go, I don't know if this guy sucks or not, but I've got to use him for a month. And then you discover he's probably your best striker if you're free to play
Right.
and probably better than you real. That's good news to the community. If we
Yeah.
tell people these guys are better than you realize, that's a win for the community.
Agreed.
Now, if we oversold it and we said, put all your stock in, Strider Cena, take the evil assistant of the Skull King, 6 gold, YOLO. Now, if we tell you that, and then you do it, and then you realize that it was a bad decision, and you hate us forever, and we lose our credibility with the community, right? So I would always prefer to be wrong and undersell and have someone else say, no, guys, he's better than you thought, because the community wins in that scenario.
Right. Yep, I agree.
So this was happy rant.
Happy rants, yes.
It's a happy rant.
It's a happy
want more
rant.
videos proving how wrong we are, showing how great characters are and how useful the community can make them.
Yeah.
Terrific. Do one a day, Bob. We would love it.
Wow.
Do one a day.
Wow.
Do one a day. So
I don't know if I'd go that far on it, but just Bob re-ranks everybody. That would be...
Start titling the video, Why Lee is Dumb. Just kidding.
Wow.
Just kidding about that part. Just kidding about that part.
Yeah, it's a person. But Bunder says in the chat that the power ratings are widely respected and people use them all the time when considering who to invest their resources into, which is humbling. That's honestly amazing. So
yeah, and if you're out there listening and saying, what the heck are power ratings, join us on Friday nights on Twitch, on the Champions main Twitch account, and we call it Enter the Chat. That's our show's name, Enter the Chat, because that's what we want you to do. We want you to come in to the chat, help cast your vote on 5 distinct categories that help us evaluate the potency and validity of the newest superstars that are released in WWE Champions. We want your input. We want your voice to be heard as we demonstrate the gameplay, and then vote on how powerful, how fast, how ready, how versatile, and how good of an entourage that superstar is, right? So please, this is my impassioned plea for you to be part of this process. You're living or watching and wondering, what the heck power rating, and why would it matter, right?
Yep.